alone, but I won't be done when morning comes. Doing it all night, all summer. Gonna spend it like no other. It was a crush, but I couldn't get enough. It was a
Good evening, everyone. We started a press conference Saturday March from Valencia Basket with an assessment from the coach from Jaime Posner out, and then questions. We knew there was a match that we have to think in the long term. We need to find good moments and to live in the good moments somehow. And I believe we started quite well in the offense. We were doing right, but they were also very right. We didn't find the defensive point. It was really damaging in 3-pointers, and with the first pick and roll, their guards were finding the 3-pointers, and they were damaging a lot. And we changed, so we were a bit more in the 3-pointers, and they would find the dunks. So at the end, we were missing some strength, some pace, some aggressivity on the guard to be able to control a bit more of the game. They're very good. We knew there were kind of some unbalances they could have, and there's the statistics, the 22 assists the two guards did. Further to that, in our way, we try the way we can try, adding as many plays as possible in understanding that we're going to play in the day after tomorrow, but of course their effectiveness and the will to the way to play and the competitive advantage helped them. We were really good in the rebounds. We're happy about that, and also happy because our level of attack was good, I believe. But our defensive level was not to compete with the team at the level of Real Madrid. Questions, please wait for the microphone and identify yourself and accompany the Euro percent. First one over there. Live for Intereconomy and Provinces. Do you feel powerless when you lose a match like this one? Because it's 101 points. I don't know if it's the highest score Valencia Basket got on the EuroLeague. The 144 valuation. I don't have it right, but right now, but it will be like right there. And the starting guard had 11 assists, so it was like again and again. You will look at different quarters. Real Madrid was really powerful. So do you feel powerless because you were losing sets and you were scoring but chasing sets? Yeah, but maybe being powerless, it was a bit eluded because our attack was working. But of course, the match of seeing who scores more, they're better than us, and they proved that. More than feeling powerless, but it creates challenges, and that's what we're going to get to. Our defense needs to grow and improve against players who are as creative and getting advantages as guards from Real Madrid, and we will do that. A question over there. Lucas Garcia for Radio Nacional. I would like to ask if you are happy, especially bearing in mind that you were 17 below and you try to compete and you make Real Madrid to score 111 points, and the plan for the match of scoring. I don't know if that was the initial idea, bearing in mind how difficult it is to play here against Real Madrid. Playing attack and more not thinking about it more in a defensive way. "17 up they were, but on the last attack from the third quarter, it was to score and get 5, and they missed, and the 3-pointer of Caro was 10. And on the fourth quarter, Alberto threw a 3-pointer that was kind of far away to get 4 behind. I am not happy because we did not win, and then we had options. But we should find a Madrid to be able to do that. Regarding the strategic part. It was not what we thought about it, but we knew that to win Real Madrid, you have to score. That was important. And I believe offensively, we played the best we did. And an important idea was Tavares to create some problems to defend the way we played, and I think we did that. In spite of that, with him, they got plus 18. And there was a thing that workouts have to be important to play against their guys. The guys are best, and in that sense, this idea of this plan, we missed that. Guillermo Aquino tried, but in all those half defense of pick and roll middle, because they were doing a slip, and then protected from the wall, and then they wanted to protect from the 3-pointers because they faked and they faked the 3-pointer. We didn't find a good plan, and they destroyed us. Alejandro Lopez from El Español. You never are satisfied with a defeat, but how satisfied are you with your team after today? First, we all need to have points of lack of satisfaction, because we are not at our highest level. We want to be a lot better. Today was obvious that on the defense we need to improve a lot, but we also saw that on the attack we're finding players that are confident that they can score 20 points on a given match, and that's really important, and many players can score. And for us, and we have no superstar player, is something good. In that sense, we are excited because we could maintain the descending line on the attack, but I insist our defense needs to improve. Jorge Martinez for Planet ICB, emphasizing what you were saying after today's match, before Real Madrid was nearly perfect on a statistic. Could you send a message to the fans that Valencia could go up and improve it today? And the second question, because we're talking about points, I don't know if on this powerful league, one of the best of history, they're saying we need to change a bit, that scoring is going to be a lot higher than other years. I believe that what is clear is on this EuroLeague, not everyone can play 100% all the time, because it's match after match, and ACB teams have an extra difficulty that our league is very tough, and not being 100% makes you add players and then risk players that are confident on the match, and you have to move them because you're playing the day after tomorrow. Be nearby with a team that is waiting for us, and they really prepare for it, which is the Fuenlabrada basketball team. But what is clear is that this EuroLeague has a lot of talent, and with both teams managed today of these higher scores, especially Real Madrid, all teams from this EuroLeague can score above 100, all of them, and I believe is a competition in that sense that is quite attractive, especially because it has a lot of talent among all things. Any further questions? Thank you, Joma.
It's too hard to sleep. I got the sheets on the floor, nothing on me, and I can't take it no more. It's 100 degrees. I got one foot out the door. Where are my keys? 'Cause I gotta leave, yeah. In the back of the cab, I took the drive ahead of time. Get me the fast. I got your body on my mind. I want it bad. Ooh, just the thought of you gets me so high, so high. Girl, you the one I
Good evening. We continue with the press conference for Real Madrid and assessment from Pablo Lasso and questions from the coach. Good evening. First, to congratulate him for the win. I believe offensively it was a great match on both teams. There was a lot of scoring, and probably because of both coaches, we had a feeling that the first half, the first team that was defending could get some advantage. I believe our third quarter was very good. We got on bonus quite, but we looked like we changed the defensive pace and we got a good advantage and we were able to somehow maintain happy because of the win. Our numbers, of course, from the statistic point of view, are very good because offensively it was a very good team. Our first half was not as good offensively, but the second half was, and it was another win in the league with a team that it was very complex because they moved the ball very well. They know how to move the ball. They play well with the center, and we were able to find and get much rolling. Noemi Fernando, Real Madrid Television. Pablo, good evening. Congratulations for this win. I would like to ask about the 17 assists from Facundo Campazzo. It's a record for a player from Real Madrid in this competition in the Euroleague. How does Facundo Campazzo make you play? Facu was quite smart. Both him and Nico, both guards, are 22 amongst the two of them. And I believe they were able to read the situation quite well for pick and roll, finding open players. I believe they gave a lot on the offensive part and to generate those sorts and then scoring because that's what assists are good for. In that sense, I think we moved the ball quite well, and especially Facu with the number of assists. It's very good because he was able to defend, to understand the defense and take advantage. Good evening, Pablo Rafael Castillo for Weather Tres. What do you think about Trent Duncan's match, although you don't like to personalize in a given player? And also to know if you are somehow worried that you lost the battle on the rebound. Thank you. No, I'm not worried about the rebound battle. I'm not worried. I think there's a load of good things going on in this match. I'm worried about 3 or 4 rebounds and one-on-one that could have been ours. A couple from Labrie, one from Dublevich that they punished us. But there's specific things. Maybe those 3 rebounds you wouldn't ask. I'm more worried about how those rebounds were, not to win them or lose them, because at the end of the day, there was a lot of good things on both teams. There was less amount of rebounds than other times. But in Trey, I think he was very good offensively. I think in the first half he was on the defensive line of the team. Well, not well, but in the second half was good and scoring is good, and Trey has that, opens the field. He knows how to find opportunities, and probably from since he got into the team, it was his best offensive match. Hello, Pablo over here. Good evening, Daniel Rivas, the area. I would like for you to provide an assessment on 2 players, maybe on very different situations. The first one is Nicola Provitola, that today had those minutes that he was asking for in the EU-League. And then to mention what you think about JC Carroll did. Maybe it's one of the most loved players from the fans, and this could be his last season with the team, I don't know. I think Nico played a great match, no matter the numbers. I'm not a lot about looking at the numbers, but he was quite good defensively. He didn't suffer. He was able to read the defensive situations. He knew how to move the team, and he was a very complete team, a very complete match. I'm happy about him. Regarding JC, I don't have a lot to say. I think he was able to take it his defensive situations. There was a moment he was very good with Joy, then Joy got on a streak and he was losing energy, but I think that he's been right for provided a bit of a push on the third quarter, second half, I believe. On the Madrid, numbers from Casa are obvious, but I would like to ask if you see the team without that no one can hold him and for 40 minutes. Algeria's league was able to win on Moscow, and the Red Star was winning on Milan. And Madrid seems that both in Liga and EuroLeague, that here at home, 40 minutes is really difficult to hold him. I got the feeling that when our defensive pace imposes, it's difficult to hold us for 40 minutes. It's also true that as a coach, I've been demanding for a while, and I know that it's already December, that we were missing being regular on the match, being constant on the game. We were not able to play constantly well defensively and offensively. There was a lot of picks. I think that's normal at the beginning of the season, and I think that's something we're improving. Today, offensively, was our best match regarding moving the ball, finding situations and opportunities, but offensively, I believe it was difficult for us, and we were able to take a step forward in the second half. That was the one providing the advantage. So obviously, home today, we were happy because we could increase our defensive work, and offensively I believe there was very few mistakes and we were very right about it. Last two questions over here. Home maintenance for Planet ICB. Congratulations to the win. Concert now said literally both guards from Real Madrid were biz. You were a guard. Do you think you have one of the best players in that position? And the second question is connected to this one. The role of the inside, moving the ball out, something that was impossible a few years ago, both Anthony and Vicky saving that pressure from Valencia. What do you think about it? Thank you. Well, of course, I think I have three great guards, Facu, Nico and Sergi, that they could not play today. And they all have different characteristics, and they can complement each other, and they can play even together. They can score, they can generate game for the rest. So obviously I'm really happy with what they can provide, all three of them, knowing that in a season as long as this one, you're going to be better and worse. But in that sense, I'm quite calm because the three, all of them, that they understand quite well what the team needs and wants. So I'm happy about it. Regarding those situations, that gives us a different registry in the game and the feeling that our guards can move the ball up, avoid pressure, play those situations from the fact that they have the ball high and they can generate movement from the side. That's something that we played a lot and we work a lot, and I think I have players that can do that, especially Randolph, Mickey and the far position, Aruba for sure. Last question here in the first row. Alejandro Lopez from Espanyol. Congratulations for the win. There was a bit of a miss in Zaragoza today. It's a near the perfect match on the attack. To what point you think that so many matches changes the competition to more of an NBA format, because you change the mindset of what happened yesterday, because the important thing is today? Well, more than a question, that's a statement. That's the way it is. How many matches did we have? 25, thinking about a Super Cup. 25, and we lost 5. So we would be first in NBA with 25. So you said it. Has nothing to do with the different competitions. The number of matches is not important. It's classification, and then there's a league, getting into the cup, going into the playoffs. It's truly different. But it's true, the number of matches and the time of rest between matches is complex, and the demand from matches. So I believe that, for instance, there were some matches where we did not get there in the best conditions, when we even have some players who were injured. But I don't like to talk about that a lot. From the moment where we were ordered the bids, we knew that we had this schedule. So I don't really like to talk about this because it sounds like an excuse, but this is the way it is, and the team needs to understand that, and the team needs to know how to move forward from the good moments or bad moments, because you have another one. We're living here, we're going to leave here at midnight, and in less than 3 days we're going to play against Burgos, and they're in their high part of the classification. It's going to be a difficult, complex match. So I believe the team needs to keep on growing and at the same time competing. And it's something that for us was like that from the first week from the Super Cup, that we got 5 players on Wednesday or Thursday, and we played over the weekend. In that sense, I'm very happy with the work the guys did. Okay, thank you. Good evening.
But now's our curtain call, so hold for the applause. And wave out to the crowd and take our final bow. Oh, it's our time to go, but at least we stole the show. 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 At least we stole the show.